Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a video about Game of Thrones Season 7 spoilers, and there has been a fuck ton released recently. They're all over social media. There are some huge ones that I'm going to talk about today, and I literally had to film this as soon as I heard about them because they are absolutely shockingly amazing. I'll be throwing up photos throughout to show you the spoilers if you haven't seen them already, and I will be speculating on them, trying to figure out what might be going on. Before we jump in, I just want to say first of all a huge thank you for 200 subscribers. It's amazing to me that so many people are interested in what I'm doing and are interested in watching my videos. It's amazing. It's also awesome that you guys are always commenting, always kind of creating that narrative between me and you. It really makes me doing this, it makes it so much funner. It makes it more worthwhile when I have people responding and I have people genuinely interested. So a huge thank you. I guess I've got to order the bigger poster now because I said when I hit 200 subscribers I'd treat myself with like a huge Game of Thrones poster. So keep an eye out for that in the upcoming videos. But a huge thank you guys, seriously. Okay, so let's just jump right in. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, requests, comment below and I will get back to you. Okay, so the first huge spoiler that I have to address is the meeting between Jon and Dany. Now this was leaked in a couple of photos and a video clip. I will throw up the photos now, and it is awesome. We always knew they were going to meet, so it wasn't really that surprising, but it does tell us they're going to meet next season. It won't be held off for too long. And it looks like it's going to be just the two of them in this meeting. We haven't seen any other meetings between Jon and Dany, so it looks like for this meeting no one else is going to be involved. I'm sure there'll be many others where there are other people, but at the moment it's just the two of them. Now, let's note the lack of guards and the lack of other advisors. Why are they meeting just the two of them? It's been speculated that they might be meeting about Northern independence. Maybe Jon comes to King's Landing to swear fealty to Dany. I doubt it. It's a personal conversation. There's no one else around. They're not meeting in the castle. They're meeting by the shore. So that tells me that it's going to be rather sensitive information. I think this discussion is going to be about Jon's parentage. It doesn't make sense for Dany, the queen, not to be guarded. So it's possible that she ordered her guards away so she could discuss a sensitive topic. So I think that Jon and Dany are going to be talking about the fact that Jon's a Targaryen. And that has huge implications on both sides. There's the implication for Dany that she's not the last Targaryen in the world. She has someone from her family left. And there's the implication for Jon that he's not Ned Stark's bastard. He is the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna. So there's huge implications. And there's also power implications. Technically, if Jon were legitimized, he would be first in line for the throne, not Dany, as he is a male heir. The question is whether Rhaegar and Lyanna ever got married. Targaryens used to marry multiple people. So it's possible they got married in secret. There's a record of it somewhere, and Jon is the rightful heir. So I think this meeting is going to be a discussion about that. It's going to be a discussion about the fact that Jon's a Targaryen, and it's going to be a very personal discussion. I think it's going to be really interesting to see Kit Harington and Emilia Clarke doing that, and I think that's going to be the root of the discussion. I highly doubt that talking about Jon wanting Northern independence, talking about help with the White Walkers perhaps, or kind of affairs of state, would be taking place on the shore without any advisors close by. It's possible that Dany, when she finds out about Jon's parentage, will be more than happy to give him the North because she'll have a Targaryen ruling it. Okay, so the second big spoiler, this is another meeting between Jon and someone else, and I was super excited to hear about this. There are no photos, I haven't managed to find any. If you have, let me know below so I can go and check them out. But this was the meeting between Jon and Theon. Now, for me, this is going to be a very fiery discussion. Theon betrayed the Starks, as we know, by killing most of the Stark household, burning Winterfell, and sending Bran and Rickon on the run. He really stabbed them in the back to impress his father. Theon has obviously since repented. He has gone through a hellish time, and he is now travelling back to Westeros with Dany and Yara. Now, I've said in my previous video about the Iron Islands battle of Season 7, I will link it below if you want to check it out, that I think that Yara is going to die in battle. I think that Euron is going to capture her and kill her, and Theon will be king of the Iron Islands. I think that would be such a good arc for him, that he goes from being a ward of Winterfell, trying to impress his father, being the heir to the Iron Islands. He then denies that right, but is then thrust into leadership anyway. I think that'd be so interesting. And it puts him in a very powerful position, and it will make him question his loyalties, I think. I mean, he's loyal to Dany because she would have given him his kingship, she would have given the Iron Islands their independence, but how can he not be loyal to the Starks? He betrayed them, he stabbed them in the back, and he feels like he owes them something. And then there's the fact that he helped Sansa escape Ramsay Bolton. You know, he fled with her. He told her he would have died for her to get her to join in the North. So it's entirely possible that Jon won't be able to hate Theon. He won't be able to kill him for his crimes against the Stark, because Sansa might step in, or he might know that the only reason Sansa was reunited with him was because Theon saved her. He helped her escape. He basically led her away and he helped save her. So I think that's going to make things really difficult for Jon. But I think the big dilemma is going to be in Theon's loyalty. Does he stay loyal to the Starks, who he feels he owes, or does he still stay loyal to Dany, who has given him his kingship? I think that's going to be a really interesting conversation. Okay, then we have squeal, another big spoiler, and oh my god, I'm so excited. This is probably the one I'm most excited for. Tyrion and Davos are going to meet. That sounds absolutely amazing. So Tyrion and Davos are going to meet up. So they're going to meet on Dragonstone, and there's going to be someone else present, and this will be Gendry. Now, a few spoilers have been leaked today that actually made me completely change my view on this. Originally, I thought they'd be sent as envoys by Dany and Jon to discuss terms. Then, after these more recent spoilers, it's completely changed my view. So, it was said online that apparently Tyrion and Davos are there, and they are with Gendry. They're already with him. Then some gold cloaks accost them because they see Tyrion, presume he is Tyrion, and plan to take him back to Cersei. Gendry then takes a warhammer and kills both gold cloaks before they can try and take anybody away. So that has huge implications. That suggests that maybe Dany isn't in charge yet. Cersei still rules the roost. And perhaps Dany's on Dragonstone hiding out. Perhaps she's still making her way over. I don't really know how that would work though, because obviously Tyrion is sailing with Dany, so possibly she has taken over Dragonstone. Some gold cloaks were sent there. It's all a little bit confusing. Maybe it isn't Dragonstone, maybe that's wrong, maybe it's King's Landing, maybe it's elsewhere. But Gendry arrives, he has his warhammer just like his father did. He kills 2 of the gold cloaks, and Davos and Tyrion are going to meet. I think that's probably going to be the best conversation of season 7. You have the advisor to Jon, you have the advisor to Dany, Tyrion's sharp wit, Davos's kind of hearty intelligence. You know, it's going to be an amazing conversation. I'm really excited to see how things work out. It's possible that Dany will take over Dragonstone first and then try and invade King's Landing, so it's possible the meeting is there and Dany's hiding out. It's possible gold cloaks were sent to assassinate her and they found Tyrion. It's also possible that Cersei, being kind of as stupid as she is, would rather take out Tyrion than Dany. Remember, her big issue with Tyrion is because of the Maggie the Frog prophecy and the whole idea that Tyrion will eventually kill her. So it's possible she's more worried about Tyrion than she is Dany. So I think that's going to be a really interesting meeting. I'm really excited to see Gendry back. He was, you know, he was a very sweet character. He had that little thing with Arya Stark, and he is a Baratheon. He grew up thinking he was a lowborn bastard, but really he's a Baratheon. He is, and he's the last of the Baratheon line. My guess is that after hearing about Gendry saving Tyrion and saving Davos from these gold cloaks, that Dany will probably legitimize him as the last Baratheon and give him Storm's End. I think that would be absolutely amazing. We know Dany has a huge thing against the Baratheons, so it's possible that she won't mind legitimizing Gendry because he never knew he was a Baratheon, and she's happy for him to take over the keep. Now there is one last meeting I want to talk about, and this looks again amazing. This is between Tyrion and Jon. Now a photo was leaked of them shaking hands, so it suggests they're going to meet. There are also a ton of other photos from the same location that have me questioning everything I just said to you guys. So basically, it turns out that Davos and Jon are going to be on the islands together. There are some Dothraki guards, Tyrion's there, and so is Dany. Now this again, I think is probably going to be Dragonstone. Maybe it's King's Landing and they come to meet Dany later on, and maybe Dany and Jon do have this personal conversation, and then later on Tyrion and Jon meet, Davos meets everybody, and it's kind of like they all meet each other. So there is that further scene between everybody rather than just Dany and Jon. Maybe they get the personal stuff out of the way in a meeting between the two of them. Maybe it's the first meeting and then later down the line we get more stuff. I think it's awesome, and again, I'm just so questioning the location, because if it's King's Landing, it's so hard to say, because there are a lot of photos of Tyrion and Davos and Jon on the beach where rowing boats were being pulled into the harbour. Is it possible that Dany's taken over King's Landing and that she's then going to Dragonstone as it's her house's seat? Is it possible that maybe they meet with her before she takes over King's Landing? Maybe they meet her there to lend their support, and that's how they try and broker for Northern independence. Maybe they hear she's coming over, they know she's this huge threat with her dragons, and so the idea is they meet with her on Dragonstone to help her invade the capital, and what they want in return is Northern independence. It's so difficult to say with just a few snapshots. This meeting could literally be anywhere. We don't know. It could be north of the wall for all I know now. I thought maybe Dragonstone because it is the House Targaryen seat. That is where Aegon the Conqueror initially landed to then take over the rest of the kingdoms, and it seems to be that kind of environment, the beaches, the rowing boats. It's possible it could be King's Landing, and Jon and Davos are meeting everyone outside of the keep. It's more informal. It's also possible it could be the Westerlands. If you look closely at that picture of the rowing boats, it kind of looks like the men rowing them in could be Lannister soldiers. It's possible that at this point Dany's taken over, Tyrion's been awarded the Westerlands, and this is maybe at Casterly Rock. How amazing if we get to see Casterly Rock and maybe Jon is meeting them there because it's more neutral ground. It's so hard to say, but I'm really excited for it. I think that this is going to be a really interesting meeting, and we're clearly getting a lot of different character interactions. We're seeing Dany and Jon, we're seeing Tyrion and Jon, we're seeing more stuff between Jon and Davos. There was also talk about how Melisandre is there. She recently posted a photo about flipping off the paparazzi, so it's possible that she comes back into the fold. Now remember, Davos has huge issue with her. Jon exiled her. Maybe she goes and joins Dany's crew. Wouldn't put it past Melisandre. My initial prediction was that she was going to meet up with the people from the Brotherhood Without Banners in the Riverlands, but maybe she goes and joins Dany. Maybe she goes to be her advisor. Tyrion has had interactions before with Red Priestesses, and they really helped spread Dany's cause around Meereen, so maybe Melisandre joins Team Dany since she was exiled off of Team Jon. Okay, so that's all I have today, guys. A wealth of spoilers to discuss. I'm really excited about all of them, and I think they're going to have a major effect on Westeros. And they also tell us some very simple things about Season 7. We know that Dany is coming, we know that her army doesn't get swept away in the sea, we know that she makes it at the very least to Dragonstone, probably King's Landing to take over. We know that Tyrion and Davos are there, we know that Jon meets Dany, we know that Theon makes the journey. There was a suspicious lack of talk about Yara. Wouldn't it be that Theon and Yara meet Jon together rather than just Theon? So again, my prediction still holds that Yara is not going to make it. I think she's going to be killed at sea, probably by Euron Greyjoy, and then Theon will be in charge of the Iron Islands. It's possible that the meeting between Theon and Jon is to talk about Iron Islands and Northern Alliance, but we have to remember the important thing. Season 7 is going to be the battle for the Iron Throne. Season 8 is going to be the battle with the White Walkers. There has to be some discussion starting. You know, Jon is the person who believes the most in the White Walkers. He's seen them. He believes they are the biggest threat. So it's even possible that Jon is meeting Dany not to discuss fealty, not to discuss Targaryen history, not to discuss any of that stuff, but to discuss the real threat. He might be getting her on board for the White Walker threat. Her dragons are going to be key. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this, guys. I will be continuing to do these videos, trying to get spoilers, trying to kind of relay them to you guys, give my own spin. Again, when the trailers start to roll out, I will definitely be checking those out and doing breakdowns of each and every trailer and doing it to death so you guys are all sick of it. But I do want to continue to do different videos in the interim. I want to do videos about histories and theories. And yeah, another thank you for 200 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. Seriously, seriously appreciate it. And I'll be back in a couple of days, if not next week, and I'll see you soon, guys. Bye! To me, that's going to be the best scene.